Hey everybody, welcome to the video. It's Andrew Ainsworth Golf Academy here. As always, great to have you along watching the video. It's always an exciting day when I can review some new Ping product. Recently did a review on the new Ping G730 Iron, which was amazing. The video has gone down really well, so thank you for all of you who've watched that video. Now's the time for the new Ping G730. It was a dual release. The 730 and the i530 came out on the same day. It's based as the ultimate game improvement club. We're going to put it through its paces, tell you all about it. Stay tuned. So the new Ping G730, what's it all about? Let's first of all tell you what Ping is saying. Maximising distance was the primary objective in Ping's longest and most forgiving iron to date, generating typical distance gains of approximately 5 yards from the flexing Hyper 17.4 stainless steel face. It's not just distance, but it's distance with maximum height, increased forgiveness for shots that are hit and hold the green. That's their opening statement. This replaces the Ping G710. And the Ping G710 again was one of these, what Ping called, I think that he called it the enjoyment iron, ultra enjoyment iron, but it really is the most forgiving iron in Ping's range. Now you've got to remember that the Ping G430, which is obviously still very current and selling very well, is a fantastic iron. I'm interested to see just what the difference is between the G730 and the G430. I won't be doing a direct comparison today, but I will do a little head-to-head. So really the difference between this and the G430 is it's billed, as all that blurb's been saying there, as even more forgiving, easier to hit, a little bit longer. We'll see why in a minute. It's bigger, it's loud, there's no doubt about it, and it's very strong lofted. And I think Ping have not shied away from this. You know, they're very upfront saying this is a distance iron, it's ultra game improvement, it's super forgiving and long and all the rest of it. So I'm certainly not going to criticize them for that. I think you've got to take these irons for what they really are, and it's all about distance. We'll have a quick look at the spec. We won't bore you to death. Well, I'll try and not bore you to death too much with it. But let's just have a little look at the technology very, very briefly. The big thing about this is the flexing face. They're using this Hyper 17.4 stainless steel, which is very, very thin. And the thinner that face becomes, the more it acts a little bit like a trampoline. Imagine the ball hitting the face at whatever speed you're hitting it at. That face will flex and it will shoot the ball off at a high ball speed. That's what that's all about. We've got what they're calling a powerful sound. I would call it quite noisy. It's not subtle, the sound on this, especially indoors. There's a real noise. Hopefully you'll pick it up on the mics as we hit it. So, you know, be prepared for a little bit of noise. Full set performance starts at 5 iron because it's a very strong lofted club. You'll see the lofts in a minute. 5 through 9 iron, pitching wedge, utility wedge, a 50 and a 56 degree. And we're seeing that more, aren't we now? We're using more wedges than we ever used to do. Back in the day, it was 9 iron pitching wedge, sand wedge, maybe a lob wedge, 2 wedges. Now we're on 3, 4, even 5 wedges because we're using less long irons. New shaft, which we'll try, the dynamic gold mid shaft, which I talked about in the i530 range as well. We'll show you what that's all about. Lots of other stuff that I'm not going to talk about. Let's just have a quick look at all important specs. So remember, Ping do 3 setups: standard loft, power spec loft, as the name implies, stronger lofted, and retrospect, which is an interesting one. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Let's go to our go-to club to measure it with. 7 irons, always the one that we look at, 37 inches long, 28 degrees loft. And that's on the powerful side, isn't it? 29, 29 and a half is becoming almost the norm in game improvement clubs. As we get down into the pitching wedge, this is where things get quite strong. 40 degree pitching wedge, 45 degree utility wedge or gap wedge, whatever you want to call that. And then a 50 degree secondary gap wedge. and then a 56-degree sand wedge. So you could end up, if you wanted to, 1, 2, 3, 4 wedges there. Wedge utility, second utility, 56, and then a 60 on top of that. Wow. What else have I got to tell you? Grips. Just never really mentioned grips, but I'll just talk a little bit about the grips. Ping like to keep life very, very simple with their grips. They offer, in this model, they offer the Lambkin Crossline Black and they offer the Golf Pride Tour Velvet. Now, normally you don't get the option to have the Lambkin on it. Normally it's just the Tour Velvet, but this time they're offering 2 different grips. They're very, very similar, to be honest. Very little difference between those 2 grips. So I'm struggling to see why they're offering 2 grips that are the same, but they must have a reason. Maybe this is the reason, because in the Tour Velvet you can get it in 6 different sizes, and in the Crossline Black you can only get it in 4. You can get a Tour Velvet cord as well. If I just scroll down a little bit more, the Tour Velvet cord is an upchargeable grip in the UK. So if you order that grip, beware, because the guy who's selling it to you, or the girl, will have to pay extra. So there's an upcharge. Right, enough waffle from me. I'm going to get in, set the sim up, hit some shots, and see how this club performs. Stay with me. Okay, everybody, let's just give you some close-up shots before we hit the G730. I think it's a really attractive club. I like the way they've blended it together with the matte finish and then a bit of full chrome on the back to make it look nice and shiny and look good on the shelf. We've got the tungsten screw, which they put into the toe of the club, which goes on all of the clubs. I've got this set fitted with the Dynamic Gold Mid 115 shaft in stiff. Put the specs up down below. Standard length, standard grip, and I've got it set today just in black dot, which is the standard lie. What hole are we on? Where are we? We're at Kinsale Golf and Fitness Club, and we're on the which hole are we on? Don't know. 17th, and I've got a 168 flag. Plays ever so slightly downhill by a couple of feet, but not much in it. So let's give it a hit. Remember, 28 degrees of loft here. As I sit it above the ball, have a look what I'm looking at here. It is chunky. It has got some thick top lines on it, but let's see how it performs. So there's shot number 1. Now, got to admit, that wasn't a great strike. Felt a fraction heavy. The greens are set to soft, by the way, so the ball's stopping, and there must be a little sort of upslope there because the ball's hit the slope, run back off the green. And I got a 158 carry off that one. Backspin rate just under 5,000, 86 miles an hour club speed, 111 ball speed. Say it was a bit of an iffy strike. So let's go again, but the result was quite good. That water gets your attention, doesn't it? That was a much better strike, much more centered. Did you hear the noise? Hope the mic's picking up the noise. It is quite loud off the face, but is what it is. Noise doesn't really bother me. Ball speed up a little bit there to 118. Spin still holding up quite well at 5.3. 168 carry. Now I have hit quite a lot of shots in testing with this club, and I was consistently getting 167, 168. If I really jumped on one, I could get it about 170. It's a powerful club, but it's 28 degree 7-iron. So, it's a 6-iron, isn't it? With a 7-iron painted on the bottom of it. I love it, though. I mean, I said, and I keep saying it through the video, you've got to take this club for what it is. It's a forgiving iron. It's a friendly iron to hit. Who's it going to be aimed at? Golfers who struggle a little bit with consistency of ball striking, they move around, they hit it toe, hit it heel, hit it high, hit it low. It'll help you play better golf. It'll possibly get you hitting the ball a bit further than the clubs you're using at the moment. That's what it's all about. Let's go another one. Yeah, it's just rifles off there. Drawn that one in a little bit. Probably around 170 carry again, 168. I mean, it keeps coming in at that 168 number. I like it. There was going to be golfers watching this video who absolutely hate this, you know, with a vengeance and think that's a horrible golf club. Don't like it. You know, why are people buying this? But you know, it's out there and it's fun. It's really fun. I'm trying it a fade, which is always quite amusing. And that's my attempt of a fade, folks. Ball goes pretty straight. Can't fade the ball. Tried, just not my natural shot shape, but I'll take that all day long. Again, 164 carry, slightly higher launch, spinning at 5.6. For a very strong lofted club, this does keep the backspin rates up really well. I've tried sort of stronger lofted clubs from Cobra in the past, and they go miles and all the rest of it, and they're very forgiving, but the spin rates fall off a cliff. You know, you're struggling to get the ball spinning at 4,000 revs. So I'm going to go one more. I'm really enjoying hitting this club. As I said, it's just fun to hit, and it's yeah, it's great. Let's hit one more. Let's really go after one, shall we? Let's put the chiropractor on speed dial after this one. Oh, that was just silly. Went after that, completely mishit it. Why I do that, I don't know, but I did. Often when you start going after shots and try and hit it harder, the results are worse, aren't they? Funny that. Anyway, this club, to sum up, if you're looking for a club which is ultra forgiving, long, then this is definitely a good starting point to look at. Price-wise over here in the UK for a 7-iron set, that's going to cost you around about £1,150 in steel. And if you go with the graphite option, you're going to be looking at about £1,250. That's for 7 irons. So that would be like 5 through to pitching wedge and 1 other wedge. Full custom fit, obviously, is the way to go. Go to a Ping fitting centre, like me, and get a full fit. You know, look at the lie angles, look at the shafts, look at the shaft length, look at the grip sizes, look at the way you can put a set together. Don't just buy off the shelf, because chances are they're not going to be right unless you're very lucky. Yeah, your standard. So that's it. I've really enjoyed hitting the G730. Hope you've enjoyed the video today. Do me a big favour though before you go. If you like the video, can you give it a thumbs up thing? And if you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button down there. I'm trying to grow my channel at the moment, trying to get it out there, and more subscribers, more likes on the video seems to help my channel grow. That's it. Advertisement break over. I'm Andrew Ainsworth. Thanks for watching the video. All the best. Bye for now.